Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Think Tank Sports. Think Tank Sports, where we think and you listen. Check us out on the socials: Facebook, Twitter, and the IG. For you younger folks out there aren't many of you that listen, but there are a few. Listen to us on Spotify for podcasters or wherever you get your podcast, and watch us on YouTube. We're here visually for your entertainment purposes and whatever else you like. Mike's living room, my living room, whatever. It is what it is. But I digress immediately, apparently. And we're not here to talk about our living rooms or any of that kind of nonsense. We are here to talk NBA playoffs. As Mike said last week, don't wait until the finals to tune in. Tune in now. And we definitely have some very juicy series and storylines. Things have gotten very interesting in the last few days for multiple reasons here in the NBA playoffs. Mike is on the other side of the imaginary wall here. Mike, how the heck are you?
Dave, I'm doing very, very well. I can
Nervous
only
about tonight?
no. Actually, I'm
Okay.
very confident. We'll jump in right there. Then my Celtics facing elimination down 3-2 to the Sixers, who have proven to be, certainly a pain. And I still feel like we're the better team overall. Haven't
I
played like
would
that.
agree. I would agree.
Yeah.
They are the Celtics are definitely the better team and have not played that way with two real clunkers in this series.
Ugh.
Mike, for a team that went to the finals last year, and you continue to see the commentary about, oh, this isn't last year. And I saw an interview with Malcolm Brogdon, and him saying, I wasn't on the team last year, but the guys have learned from what happened last year. Have they, Mike?
No. No, and whether it's the coaching change and the drama and saga that was in the off season, or you look in the locker room, and I love all the guys there, but there isn't a veteran gray bearded person to kind of guide them through this. I guess Blake Griffin and Malcolm Brogdon are supposed to be those people,
Or Al
but
Horford.
yeah. I mean, besides with the Celtics, has he really had a ton of success?
I mean, he's a veteran guy. He's been
Oh
around.
no, he's been around. Miami, certainly Philadelphia paid him a bunch of money at one point. First run with the Celtics was great. So yeah, so those guys, Schroeder too, I guess, Smart. These guys are supposed to be taking care of themselves, but they seem to need that PJ Tucker type voice where, it's like, no, we're drawing the line in the sand and it stops here. And yeah, PJ Tucker, I give him all the credit in the world, Dave, for not physically as gifted as these other guys in the league, not certainly as well endowed height wise
I was
and
like,
all
whoa,
of
wait a
that.
minute. What are we
As
talking
far as
about?
I know, his wife
Height
is a very
wise?
happy woman,
Yep.
or husband, whatever he does. And
Oh
but he's
boy.
not you don't look at him and say prototypical NBA player. You more say NFL lineman,
And
really.
definitely
But
at this advanced age that he's at, he's not the PJ
right.
Tucker that was, a little more agile in his days with the Rockets.
Right, but look what he's doing against my Celtics and really getting in Tatum's head. And we've had a couple of fourth quarters now where Tatum's been protected a little bit by the national media, but he really has not been the alpha closeout that we need him as a Celtic fan to be. And PJ Tucker's a big reason why. So I give them a ton of credit, Dave.
Well, Mike, as we talk about Tatum,
Yeah.
what about these horrible starts that he has? I mean, he's in game 5, he starts out 0 for 8, makes a field goal right at the end of the first half, and gets him going in the second half, a game that goes to overtime. And admirable comeback by the Celtics, down 16, able to whittle away the lead and get it to overtime and eventually lose. But and sorry, that was game 4. game 5, same thing. He starts out slowly. Like, when is Jason Tatum going to do the alpha male thing and step up and start the game off on the right foot?
Well, he'll do that on the court, Dave, when he does that off the court. It's really a situation that is the 1,000-pound gorilla in the room, and that's that little son of a bitch, Deuce Tatum. Put his butt to bed, pay the nanny or the au pair a couple extra $100 that playoff game night. He doesn't need to be all up in your business. He's a cute kid. We know you love him. We love to see the rapport, but it's time to lock in. Of course, I'm tongue in cheek a little bit with that, but there is a little bit of that lack of urgency and serious of business, especially in the playoffs. We see these guys all chuckling and stretching and joking with the other team and all that, and I just hate to see that, especially in a playoff battle. So that's my practical answer. I don't know if that's even true, especially on the road games. I know he's there, Deuce is there in the home games.
Yeah, I was going to say tonight in Philly, maybe that's not the case.
You probably don't want to bring him to Philly anyway, especially in an elimination game.
Those fans are going to be, they're going to find ice balls and they're going to throw them at you.
Yeah.
Even though it's 75 degrees in May.
Right. He's like, I just wanted to do Christmas in May. My daddy told me I can.
Oh boy!
Shut up, Deuce.
We're way off track, but the bottom line is Jason Tatum is, a top player in the league, and he has struggled at times in this series, and it's really has affected the Celtics in their position where they are. Second game in a row in an elimination game. Now they're favored tonight, Mike, by 2.5 on the road in Philadelphia, which I find to be a little bit interesting. I think people are just, Vegas is expecting the Celtics to come out and play a little bit better. I don't know, Mike. It's just like a lot of these series. That's Jekyll and Hyde with all of these teams.
No, I agree. For me, for Boston, it's trickle down because if Tatum's not doing it, then, Jaylen Brown's trying a little harder, and Horford and Smart and, Devin White, all these guys are trying to pick up the slack a little bit, and it's just a little bit above their abilities, and especially in this tight playoff series. Now, what we'll see too, coaching staff. I mentioned Missoula already. Mm-hmm. It's time to see what they can do adjustments wise. I don't know if Brad Stevens has got to pop in and give them a few out of bounds plays to get them going or what. But interesting to see what happens tonight with game 6, and then what I think will be a game 7. Before we get to the other series, Dave, I wanted to ask you this, and I forgot before we got hot and heated into the Celtic talk. So we got 4 series that are 3 games to 2 now as we sit here recording on Thursday evening. So of the 4 series, over under how many will go to a game 7? Going into game 6s all around for everybody.
Oh boy, that is a very, one, right? Very interesting question. I was thinking about this actually on my way home from work today when we were talking about this second round starting and the Heat and Knicks, and we said, oh, that's got 7 games written all over it. And then the Knicks kind of didn't show up for a couple of games. And, now we go to tomorrow, Friday night, the Knicks won game 5, but Miami was up 3-1. Now it's 3-2. They go back to Miami. If we play out our initial thoughts, that series goes to game 7. So that's 1.
Boston, Philly, obviously I'm hoping it goes to game 7, based on the way this series is going, it's like every other game, one team kind of struggles a bit, and it's we had the 1-point game, but really it hasn't been
they haven't been
series
close.
Of buzzer beaters or anything. So
no, I would say
it's Boston's turn to dominate. I know it doesn't work that way, but
No, but I that's my feeling. I think
Yeah.
I'd be really surprised if the Celtics didn't win tonight. So that's 2. So I'm going to put the over, and I think Denver's going to win, and I think the Lakers are going to win. So I'm going to go over under at 2, Mike.
Okay. I think if you had Adam Silver's head pinned behind his magnificent bald head, he would take 2 for sure, and then 3 or 4 just to add icing to the cake of the series and the ratings. I'm sure that would be great for
Oh
the
yeah,
NBA.
and if
So
you get the LA Golden State, Phoenix, Denver, and Philly, Boston to Game 7, all 3 of those are on Sunday.
right, you
So
think they would kick one to Monday?
they have, yes, the Knicks
Okay.
and Miami would be Game 7 would be Monday.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So if you think about Sunday, which is very interesting because it's Mother's Day, folks.
Right.
If you're not paying attention at home, it's Mother's Day. So if your mother's around and present and you need to get her stuff, you better get your ass out to the store and
Mhm.
do what you need to do, or order something online that
Yeah,
gets
get it
delivered.
done.
You still, yeah, get it done. That has a potentially be a tremendous day of basketball on a day when a lot of mothers probably would be like, yeah, you're not watching basketball.
Right.
But anyways, we digress. So what are you thinking, Mike? I mean, I'm saying over
I
under
think,
2.
yeah, I was gonna say 1.5, just to get a half in there because it
Mm,
never works out the
that's
way we
true.
would want it.
Yeah, I should have said 2.5 then.
Yeah, but I can easily see 3.
Yeah,
My gut shot is 3, so I would take the over for sure.
yeah.
Knicks Heat, Dave. This has been interesting Jekyll and Hyde series as well, where they're just back and forth, and you got Julius Randle in the press saying the Heat want it more, but then the Knicks come out last night and pretty much
And want it more.
win wire to wire and want it more from beginning to end, and we got a 116-103 win from the Heat, and the series again 3-2. Miami feeling good about themselves, starting to shoot a little better. Duncan Robinson, for some reason, is always open behind the 3-point range, Dave.
5
What?
for 10 in the game last night.
Why they don't close out on him and make him drive to the hoop? I just don't get. Of course, Seth Curry gets and Steph Curry both get open on the regular basis. So
Well, right, but I mean, this is we're talking about Tom Thibodeau, Tibbs,
right,
who's one of the better defensive coaches in the league.
right.
You would think he'd be able to exert his will there and get some of the Knicks players, whether it be Obi Toppin or Randall or even Josh Hart, get those guys to push him off the 3-point line, but
Yeah.
it's not happening right now.
Interestingly enough, I was reading something today, Dave, because Emmanuel Quickley is not healthy, and quite a possibility that he won't play this next game.
And he didn't play in Game 5.
So the question's been arising: who's gonna give some bench minutes? They need like 12 minutes at the guard position. And
where's
turns
Derrick
out
Rose?
that's what I was just gonna say. It turns out it might be Derrick Rose this next game. Might get a Derrick Rose sighting. So just keep an eyeball out on that.
Yeah, maybe.
Sure.
I mean, Evan Fournier, I know he's out with an injury, but
Right.
yeah, I mean, Derrick Rose, look, he has played some critical minutes for the Knicks over the last few years.
Right.
That could be a substantial boost.
And
like you say, they're going to need the minutes.
Status is going to grow in New York if he comes in and plays 12 minutes and gives them 10 points and has a steal and gets the crowd pumped up or whatever.
Well, and you look at Brunson and Quentin Grimes both played the entire game.
Right.
Game 5, all 48 minutes.
And Brunson, you just can't do it.
Right. That is just not something that usually happens, even in the playoffs. So they're definitely going to need somebody else to bail out some of those minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, this, I fully expect the Heat to take care of this one, Dave. This is the one I don't think will go
Mm-hmm.
a full seven. I just feel like it's closeout time, and the Knicks have been a great story. And they've almost admitted as an organization that getting this far is already above, kind of what they expected. So they're
Mm-hmm.
playing with
Mm-hmm.
house money, which I hate that attitude because you never know when you're going to get there again.
No.
But
Well, you think
no,
about the
great
Washington
story.
Nationals when they, pulled back Steven Strasburg that one year.
Right.
And they
Oh,
they were
right. We're
they
going to
were
limit
great, and
games.
they could have had a great. I mean, eventually they did get a World Series win, but it
Right.
felt like that took forever after that.
Right. No, I agree. So let's go out west, buddy. What's going on with your Lakers?
The Lakers,
Lakers Warriors action?
yep, Lakers Warriors action. They win game 4 and go up 3-1, which I thought was, you know, significant for
Right.
sure. And they play good defense, Mike. I mean, that's the thing, is that they've played good defense. It was particularly better in the 2 games in LA. And then, they come out game
Oh,
5. Go ahead.
I was going to say their game 4 defense down the stretch was tremendous. We
Yeah.
had Klay Thompson hit a 3 in the corner with like 3 minutes left to give Golden State the lead. And they didn't score again until, garbage time with foul shots. They forced Thompson to make just 2 terrible shots for him. And then Curry made a mistake, and then Draymond famously threw the ball out of bounds there, right to the Lakers bench, and that was pretty much game. So the Lakers defense in closing time in game 4 in particular, Dave, was super impressive.
Yep, for sure. And they've held Klay Thompson in check. I mean, he has not been good. You haven't had, knock on wood, the explosive game from Curry. He's had some good games, but nothing crazy. The Lakers have been able to kind of, keep the pace for the most part at theirs. Now, last night, the Warriors did get out, and they 72 points at halftime,
Right.
which was their biggest output, I think, since 2016, I saw. So that's not great, but the Lakers still, they got close there for a little while. And then,
in game 5, you're talking
yeah,
about
now talking about
yeah.
game 5. Yes. And then Anthony Davis got hit in the head, regular
So what did you
basketball
make
play.
of all that? Regular basketball play? No
Yeah. That's what it looked like
issues?
to me. Just a
Okay.
regular basketball play.
Okay.
Looney's just coming down and catches AD in the head.
That being said,
It's
was that concussion protocol, you think?
nope. They have said
Okay.
he's not
All right.
entering concussion protocol. I'm just reading this from a short time ago.
Oh, okay, good.
He's feeling great. Medical staff, great update. No signs of anything.
Good.
They fully expect that he will play in game 6. That would have been a huge blow to the Lakers as far as that goes. Interesting with the Warriors that, game 4, they switched their lineup up and put in 3 guards and try to,
Yep.
pull Anthony Davis away from the basket a little bit, which worked, for a good amount of the time. But like you said, down the stretch, no,
he's just too much.
Yeah. It's just too much. And so, but the Warriors are the Warriors, and this is another series, though. It's just been so inconsistent. The Warriors have played good one game and then bad the next. So if you follow that trend, like you were saying, tomorrow night is teed up for a bad Warriors game.
Right.
The Lakers are undefeated at home in the playoffs. Now, LeBron said that doesn't mean anything. Those 6 games don't matter. We just need to win tomorrow. And so we'll see how that goes. But the Lakers are in a good position at home in a game 6 to close that series out, Mike.
This is where I think the team that has home court advantage kind of gets screwed in the NBA when the 2-2-1-1-1 because
Really? I love 2-2-1-1-1.
yeah, I mean it's better for the travels for sure. But the 2-3-2, you know, the home once you got home and you had those two games in hand at home, that's a real advantage. Going and knowing if you're going to play a 7-game series. Now, nobody knows that going in, obviously.
Sure.
You don't plan for that, but just a minor thought there.
Yeah, my feelings, Mike, with and I feel very strongly about the 2-2-1-1-1. I really, really dislike the 2-3-2 format. Is when you look at the stats, and I don't know the numbers off. I'm going to throw a rough number at you, but the team that wins game 5 of a series wins the series like 75% of the time. And so if you look at that, then in my mind, I say, if I have home court, I want game 5 at home. And that to me is the argument for the 2-2-1-1-1. Yeah, it sucks to go back to, the opposing team's place for game 6. But when you are 75%, and I did see a stat that was even higher than that. I think when teams were, I think it said when their teams were tied at 2-2, the winner of game 5 has gone on to win the series like 80% of the time.
Wow.
So if that's the case, I want game 5 at home.
They'll never do it, but it would be almost really interesting to give teams a choice going into a series. Do you want game 5 at home or do you want the last 2?
Oh, yeah.
That would be super interesting. They'll never do it because
of the TV schedule,
and the travel, that would be awesome.
Wow.
Awesome
that would be something. That really would be something to see what teams would do.
But speaking of what teams would do, Dave, this Warriors Lakers series, like you said, the Warriors are the Warriors. They won't go away. And but I fully expect your Lakers to take care of business and finish it in 6. And
I hope you're right, my friend. I hope you're right.
And go from there. That it's been a fun series. And then the other series, Dave, Denver and Phoenix got a little bit interesting. It was kind of a super bland we talked about last week, where Denver's kind of been out in
steamrolling
NBA Siberia, TV wise, always in the really late game in the West Coast and that kind of stuff. But we got a little pushing and shoving with the owner of the Suns, right, and the Nuggets.
Yeah, and Jokic.
Jokic and his brothers always seem to be involved. Yeah,
little forearm shiver, and the jokes rain free about the Suns owner flopping. He puts his arms up and goes back, and he played with Tom Izzo in 2000 when they went to the Final Four, and so there were jokes that Tom Izzo taught him how to flop. Very interestingly. But the owner, you look at it, and back and forth with my oldest son saying, what the heck is Jokic doing? What the heck is the Suns owner doing? Grabbing the ball and holding it.
Right.
The Suns guy, the Suns player falls into the stands.
Right.
Or falls into the crowd, doesn't get up right away. And the Suns owner's holding the ball, like looking at the Suns player, like, is he going to be okay? And Jokic is coming over trying to take the ball because they want to go 5-on-4 the other way.
Right. He wants to play basketball.
Now, this is not excusing the forearm shiver from Jokic, but
no.
I don't know that happens if the Suns owner doesn't just throw the ball right to the referee, or he's certainly not going to give it to Jokic. So you'd think just give it to the referee.
This reminds me, Dave, I don't know if you remember you and I, when we were talking when the Europeans just started entering the NBA, and I would say, get your hands off me, you dirty Euro.
Yes.
And that's that Jokic move. It was a damn dirty Euro move for sure.
I always felt that was oh my God, pointed at Manu Ginobili. Every time you said that's always the person I thought of.
No, he definitely started it. Him and Turkoglu were the two.
Oh,
always had
Hedo. Oh my gosh. When Turkoglu, when he played on the Kings and the
Yes.
Lakers, I'm sorry, the Queens, the Lakers and the Queens were playing series. The Lakers fans would just chant Hedo,
Yeah.
Hedo, and he would just airball. And then he went to Orlando, and the Lakers beat him when he was on Orlando in the finals as well. It was great. Anyways,
it was great, and he had a tremendous year for Orlando.
Yeah.
But then
Hedo
just crumbled.
sidebar apparently.
Yeah, just crumbled. So
back to the actual series. My goodness.
I'm good with that series unless you have anything else you want to add about.
Are you thinking Denver will win tonight? And
yeah, it just feels like
put it to bed.
Chris Paul's still out.
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton has this rib injury, and it sounds like it's very, very bleak. Although I feel like he has not been much of a factor. We talked about last week. He got benched in the one game. I mean, obviously he's playing against Jokic, but he hasn't been much of a factor anyway.
No, I think that experiment's about to be over in Phoenix.
Yeah, but interestingly enough, too, now Jamal Murray has a non-COVID injury or sickness, and apparently Michael Malone, the coach of the Nuggets, has been sick. I was just reading this today, so Jamal Murray might not play in Game 6 as well. So injuries abound for both teams.
Yeah, for sure. But that time of year, attrition is definitely a factor.
Yep.
Got to pull through it. Today, Dave, the NBA announced the all NBA teams.
Yes, they did.
There's some names and some non-names on these teams that
non-names. That's funny.
Think were interesting. Do you have them there at your fingertips?
I do. Yeah. So
you want to read them off for us? Maybe start the third team and go the other way.
Oh, sure. We can do that.
Cool.
There's the second team. So third team, LeBron James, who is now 19 straight on an all NBA team, along with Sacramento Queens players, Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. These other two, Mike, really head scratchers as far as I'm concerned. Dame Lillard, who I feel like was hurt for half the year.
Yeah. And
Julius Randle.
Yeah, it's got to be somebody's agent knows somebody that knows somebody. They got him on the list.
I mean, where is Brunson? Brunson has clearly been the better Knicks player all year.
Right.
And that was the third team. So spoiler alert, Jalen Brunson does not make all NBA.
Another spoiler alert. Another guy didn't make it. Your boy, Ja Morant.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any of those. Cost himself
$39 million.
And you say, oh, he didn't cost himself. They didn't pick him. No, he cost himself because he got himself suspended with that stupid gun picture. And you think that it wasn't a factor keeping him off the third team all NBA?
Sure.
You're
it absolutely was. Absolutely. Right.
So $39 million picture. Congratulations.
Yeah. Yep. There you go. I hope the gun was worth it. Second team, Mike, recognizable names in Steph Curry, Donovan Mitchell, Jokic. He has to make the second team because the MVP's on the first team.
Right.
Jimmy Butler and your boy Jaylen Brown, Mike.
Yeah, I was surprised. He had a nice season, but I didn't think second team all NBA would be. I certainly would have thought LeBron would have been there, but again, LeBron was hurt quite a bit.
LeBron was hurt for a bunch of games too. Yeah. So Jaylen Brown, Mike, and we'll get to his teammate in a moment. Sure. His making the all NBA team qualifies him for the Supermax extension this summer, 5 years, $295 million. Right. If that is the case, would be the largest contract in NBA history. Sorry, Ja Morant. Use a gun, you get knocked off the top of the pole, if you will. So, hey, Jaylen Brown. So there's that for him. Coming up with the second team all NBA. So kudos to him. And I guess Brad Stevens starts moving some money around and seeing what he could do as far as thinking about how to pay him.
Well, let's get to the first team and
Yeah.
Tatum, because that unlocks his super max as well.
Yes,
the
but
first
it's
team.
for the following summer
Right.
for Jason
So-
Tatum. So big decisions for the Celtics.
Right.
I mean, geez, you'd think they would sign both of them, but you're talking about 2 max contracts. Now, certainly it's Boston. You can, make the argument the money is there, the fans are there.
Right.
Boy,
and who else would you replace them with, really?
Right. Big
You're going to
decisions.
go out and get, right. So the
So, yeah,
question is, can you have
first
2
team.
super max players and supporting
Right.
cast
And
around
what does
them?
the supporting cast look like exactly?
But those are future problems. Today's awards are tomorrow's problems, apparently. Who else was on that first team, buddy?
Joel Embiid, the NBA's MVP, along with the aforementioned Jason Tatum, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Doncic, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Mike, who had a
SGA.
tremendous year for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't think there isn't anybody that you can argue. I don't think off of that first team. I mean, that's tremendous.
No, absolutely. Some great basketball played by all of those people individually, and all deserving of the award. And especially happy for SGA to see him persevere and be recognized. So good for him, Dave. Anything else in the NBA while we're bouncing around here? I don't think hasn't really been any coaching news, the Nick Nurse.
Oh, well, you do have
Coach
our good friend JJ Redick interviewing for the Toronto Raptors job, which is, as far as I'm concerned,
you can have it.
Beyond hilarious.
Right.
And that's been a wide search. There are many candidates for that job, but it's just interesting that JJ Redick, with no coaching experience whatsoever, would be considered to coach the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, I mean, like I said under my breath, he can have that job. It's perfect for both of them. Take him to Canada. All right,
Kick
Dave.
him to Canada, Mike says.
We got the NFL schedule coming out tonight, folks. I'm sure we'll have a Twitter poll or 3 about that, as well as our NBA playoffs here as we continue to just hunker down and enjoy this great basketball. Enjoy it as a basketball fan, and if your team's still in it, live it up. These are the salad days that you're going to tell your kids and grandkids about. So while you do that, we'll be watching on all the networks and posting on social media, and we'll continue to report back to you here at Think Tank Sports. Think Tank Sports, where we think and you listen as we strive for 5. Have a great night, folks.
See you, everybody.
Cheers.